Since local residents at Nkandla in KZN have decided to give their backing to the Inkatha Freedom Party. The IFP has won 61% of the vote compared to the 39% gained by the ANC in yesterday's by-election. The IFP had control of Nkandla in previous years. To look at by-elections in KZN, we're now joined via Zoom by political analyst Professor Bheki Mngomezulu. A very good morning and pleasure to be talking to you. Thank you so much for making the time. Now, the IFP looks like it's the bigger winner on the preliminary results. What does this mean for the party and its growth in KZN?
No, thank you very much, and thanks for having me. This shouldn't come as a surprise. We know that what happened in 2016 is that the IFP did fairly well. And for the past couple of days, I've been talking to your fellows in the media space, and I was saying that there were a couple of reasons why the IFP did very well. One of them is that it prepared very well for the 2016 local government election. And then, of course, at the time, the NFP did not participate in the election for various reasons. And then the ANC had its own internal problems to deal with. And all of those factors worked well for the IFP. And since then, the IFP has tried to consolidate its power, working on the achievements achieved in 2016. So it doesn't come as a surprise then that during this by-election, this time around, the IFP seems to be doing very well, as the preliminary results show. So for me, this is not a surprise at all. It was always expected. We might see, of course, that the ANC might have gained ground compared to what it did in 2016, but overall, the IFP is expected to do fairly well in this election, while parties like the DA, for example, are not going to do well for some reasons, which we can talk about later.
Yes, of course the IFP won that ward in Nkandla, although municipality is run by IFP, but the ANC has Jacob Zuma. Has he helped the ANC to increase support in Nkandla?
No, the word in Nkandla is a very interesting one because you would expect that since the former president comes from that area, then ordinarily the municipality should be under the ANC. At one point, in fact, it was under the ANC, but then things went wrong because of a couple of reasons. And since the IFP started making inroads in some of the previously ANC stronghold, it has tried its level best to consolidate its power. So as much as it is surprising that the ward in Nkandla would fall under the IFP when in fact former President Zuma comes from that area, it is surprising, of course, but we shouldn't be worried because this has been the case for some time, and it's not the first time that the IFP has claimed that ward. And it means that once it got the ward, it made sure that it delivers the services. Of course, they might not be where we want them to be, but it has done its best to make sure that it retains the municipality. And the voters seem to be agreeing with what the IFP has done.
Unlike most areas where preliminary results have come through, we're reporting this morning of tensions in Tuba. They say it's tense because of the tie. The IFP is leading with preliminary results. What is it about this ward that these two parties want so badly?
No, there is a lot at stake in Tuba. You would know that the municipality has been changing hands between the ANC and the IFP. At one point, the ANC ran that municipality because it was working closely with the NFP. So when that relationship fell by the wayside, then the IFP took control of the municipality until recently, when the IFP the ANC reclaimed that municipality. But then, given the fact that there's been a tie 18 aside, then it means that there is a lot at stake because one seat would definitely give the municipality to one of the two parties, either the ANC or the IFP. So you could see that on the build up to this by-election, both the parties tried their level best to crisscross that area, trying to persuade more especially the undecided voters, and presenting themselves as the rightful people to run that municipality. So there is a lot at stake because not only from a political point of view, but also there is pride at stake because any of the two parties that controls Tuba will definitely go to the 2021 local government elections, in fact, having been encouraged by the results that would have come from this by-election. So there is a lot at stake for both the ANC and the IFP. As for the other parties, they are just there because they have to be there, and it's their democratic right to be there. But I don't think that they've invested everything just like the ANC and the IFP have done.
Talking about the 2021 elections, just give us your sense of the fortunes and the losses of the different political parties and how this prepares them on the road to 2021.
If we were to confine our discussion to KwaZulu-Natal, we know that in this province, there are mainly a couple of political parties that are active. We can talk of the IFP, the ANC, the DA, the EFF, and then the NFP. The NFP had started off very well, but because of the internal leadership squabbles, it is gradually fading away. And then, of course, there was an attempt to try and resuscitate the party, but then some individuals within the party decided to jump ship, and then they formed their own splinter party. So that weakened the NFP. And then as for the DA, the just concluded Congress has caused a dent on the DA. And in fact, I was saying to other media houses that it was political suicide on the side of the DA when it had this Congress, and then the leaders that emerged were predominantly white. At the time when we've seen a number of black leaders exiting the stage, we would have expected that the party would try and win back black voters, but that was not to be. As for the ANC, as for the EFF has been growing gradually at all levels, but I don't think that at the moment it is at the level where we can say it is one of the big contenders. The fight in KwaZulu-Natal, even in 2021, will be between the IFP and the ANC. The ANC is trying everything possible to regroup. Of course, it's taking longer than anticipated, but there are attempts being made to try and unite the party. So one would have expected that the ANC will do better than it did in 2016. But then the IFP, as far as things stand, unless something happens between now and 2021, I expect that the IFP will still do very well in next year's local government election, because some of the problems that have bedeviled the ANC have not disappeared. They are gradually fading away, but they are not out yet. So at the time when the IFP is regrouping and making sure that it makes inroads in a number of areas. So I see this by-election, in fact, being a build-up to the 2021 election, and whatever results we come up with now will not change significantly come 2021.
Thank you very much for your analysis, and hope to speak to you in the future as the official results come through.
Thank you.
Professor Bheki Mngomezulu there. Always enjoy his analysis of events in the country.